Hi, and thank you for your question. So in your question, we're looking at this simplifying these fractions, and we're looking at excluding numbers from the answer because if the bottom part of the fraction equals 0, then it's we're not going to have a proper answer in terms of simplifying this. So we always have to exclude numbers that are going to cause the denominator to be 0. And you always want to go back up to this part of the equation, because if either this expression or this expression is equal to 0, it's going to make the whole denominator 0. So for instance, if x plus 5 was 0, then it'd be 0 times x minus 5, which would give you 0, and vice versa. So what that means is x plus 5 cannot equal 0, or else the denominator is going to be 0, and x minus 5 also can't equal 0, or it's going to cause the denominator to be 0. So that means x can't equal negative 5 for this one, and x cannot equal positive 5, or it's going to cause the denominator to be 0. So it's not only this denominator here that you have to worry about, but it's also the one right up here that is also that we also have to look at. So make sure that you don't only go by the denominator in your final answer, but look back in your steps before you cancel. Look back in your steps to make sure that you're excluding all the numbers that could cause this answer to have a 0 as a denominator. And you can see that if I was to put negative 5 back in for x squared, I would cause the denominator to be 0, and the same would occur if I put positive 5 back into x, that we would create a denominator that would be 0. So that's why it's important that you get both answers. So your question is, why isn't the answer for this one here both -1 and +1? Because I believe it's not both. So what I'm going to do first is I am going to go ahead and simplify, expand it out first so that I can see if I can cancel out any of my terms. So x squared minus 1, if I were to factor that out, I would get x positive 1 and x minus 1. And then to factor out the bottom, I'm going to get x plus 1 and x plus 1. And then these cancel out, so I'll have x minus 1 on the top and x plus 1 on the bottom. That means that this is my simplified expression, but x cannot equal -1, or else it will make this denominator 0. And unlike this one, where when you look up to when you were simplifying, you have x plus 5 and x minus 5 in the denominator, and therefore you had to have x not equal to -5 and x not equal to +5. You can see here that both of the expressions are x plus 1, and that's why there is only one number that you exclude, not both x is not both +1 and -1 for this question. So I hope that answers your question on why the answers are different for both of these examples. Thanks for the email, and I hope this helps. Bye for now.